Hello, I am the co-author of this book called PMP Exam Immersion. It's a book like no other PMP exam study material I know. It's broken down into 35 chapters, and we go through people, process, and business. The people domain is covered from an agile perspective and a predictive perspective. The same for the process and the same for the business. At the end of each chapter, there's a commentary called the gold zone of what to expect on the exam for that specific task. And it's also followed by a couple of questions, sometimes more, to really get your teeth sunken into the content. So today, I'm going to be reading one of the chapters for you. And you can find this book on Amazon. Today, we are going to read a little bit of one of my favorite chapters, Chapter 2. And Chapter 2 is called Lead a Team. Lead a Team, People Task 2. What does it mean to lead a team, and what is leadership really? John C. Maxwell says the true measure of leadership is influence. Nothing more, nothing less. John also says, he who thinks he leadeth, but has no one following after him, is not leading. They're only taking a walk alone. We do not want to be taking walks alone as project managers. We should aspire to know how to lead. John C. Maxwell's 5 levels of leadership describes 5 stages or levels. The first level is the position level. People will not follow you beyond your stated authority. If you lead by position only, you will fail. Level 2, the permission level. This is where you make work fun because you are likable. People follow you not only because you have got the position as project manager, but because you are likable. People like you and they buy into you. You can make work fun. However, have you ever worked for a boss who is all fun but fluff when it comes to substance in the job itself? We cannot lead by just feel-good likability. We need more. And that is where we go to level 3. Level 3, the production level. This examines what you have done for the firm. People look at you and think, wow, you actually did that on this project? From your production, you just get a massive amount of buy-in and respect. That gives you an upper hand when it comes to influence. And you can influence because of what you have done for the firm. Level 4, the personhood level. You earn influence here by doing things for team members and stakeholders around you, developing, mentoring, and training people and imparting value into them. It gives you one step up on the leadership ladder because you have mentored, trained, coached, and helped them. In a well-known firm I once worked at, I was trying to move up in position, and there were many of my senior colleagues who I had trained and mentored in project management for work and professional exams. So when I began looking for a job in IT effectiveness, I had raving fans, and one of them called up the manager and said, "If you do not hire this guy, you missed the boat." All it took was one phone call. The very next day, I got a phone call back saying, "Someone really appreciates what you have done for defense and space. You've got the job." That is what leadership is all about. It's about influence. You add value to people, you train them, coach them, mentor them, you build them up, and that brings you into influence. Level 5, the pinnacle level. That means levels 1, 2, and 3 are intact, and you continue to practice them, and everyone sees you as a leader and someone who represents integrity, growth, and imparts leadership into people. But we do not forget the other 4 levels when we get to level 5, and that is a book written by John Maxwell. This will help your career. It's called The 5 Levels of Leadership and gives you very good orientation on how you can lead a team. So now you know what leading a team and leadership could be about. Let's move into politics, power, and getting things done. According to the PMBOK guide, politics and its associated elements are not good or bad, positive or negative alone. The better the project manager understands how the organization works, the more likely he or she will be successful. When you hear the word politics, do not think of negative. Think of what the project manager needs to know to get the job done. These are power types that the project manager could exert, depending on what he or she has done in the firm and depending on what people know about the project manager. Positional power. This is known as formal, authoritative, or legitimate power. This is power possessed simply because of one's position or title. Power because one is the project manager. Informational power. Informational power is because of one's control or distribution of information. If you have information that people could use, them knowing you have that information could make you become more influential with them. Referent power. Respect or admiration others have for the project manager due to charisma, likability, and a magnetic personality. Situational power. Power gained due to unique situations, such as specific crises, personal or charismatic charm and attraction. Relational power. Power possessed through affiliations, networking, or connections and alliances. Expert power. Power possessed because of one's industry, technical, or specialized experience, training, education, or certifications. Reward power. The ability to reward or punish. Reward, the ability to give praise. Punitive or coercive, the ability to invoke discipline or negative consequences. Ingratiation. Influence gained by the application of flattery or other common ground to win favor or cooperation. Pressure-based power. Limiting people's freedom of choice or movement to gain compliance to desired action. Guilt-based power. Sending them on a guilt trip. Guilt makes them concede by an imposition of obligation or sense of duty. Persuasive power. The ability to provide arguments that move people towards a desired course of action. Avoiding. Refusing to participate. These power types are certainly a possibility on your exam. Know them well. Leadership styles of the project manager. The project manager must demonstrate competency in leadership, management, and guidance of the project team and project resources. Good leadership is the ability and flexibility to use all leadership styles depending on the situation. Ineffective leadership is sticking to one style without the ability to adapt. Leadership styles include, but are not limited to, laissez-faire. This is a handoff approach typically effective with capable stakeholders that have proven they do not need micromanaging or close management. The philosophy is you can make your decisions, you're capable, and you don't need to be babysat. Transactional. This leadership approach promotes compliance by using a transactional approach depending on who the transaction is with on a case-by-case basis, also known as management by exception. For example, the project manager's leadership transaction with Gail might be different from her transaction with Bob because each has specific wants, influence and variables, reward, preferences, and lead-ins. Servant leader. This leader demonstrates commitment to serve and put others first. Transformational. Empowering followers through behaviors, inspirational, motivational, encouragement, innovation, creativity, and individual consideration. Charismatic. The ability to inspire with high energy, enthusiasm, self-confidence, and strong convictions. Interactional. A combination of transactional, transformational, and charismatic. Management versus leadership. Remember the quote by Steve Jobs? Management is about persuading people to do things they do not want to do, while leadership is about inspiring people to do things they never thought they could. In the illustrations ahead, Let's explore these differences. Management is all about directing positional power. Leadership is more about guiding, influencing, and collaborating. Management is about focusing on operational issues and problem solving. Leadership is about focusing on vision, alignment, and inspiration. Now, there's no good or bad here, but there should be balance. When you think about management, think about systems, processes, procedures, and administration. When you think about leadership, think about relational elements, people. Here are the enablers for Task 2, lead a team under people. 1. Set a clear vision and mission. 2. Support diversity and inclusion. 3. Value servant leadership. 4. Determine an appropriate leadership style. 5. Inspire, motivate, and influence team members, stakeholders. 6. Analyze team members and stakeholders' influence. And 7. Distinguish various options to lead various team members and stakeholders. 1. Set a clear vision and mission. This equates to your project charter or product roadmap and similar high-level artifacts like a mission or vision statement. 1. Do that right from the get-go. Why are we doing the project? How are we going to get our goals? And what are the benefits that we're going to get from all this? If you want to build a ship, do not drum up the men to gather wood. Divide the work and give orders. Instead, teach them to yearn for the vast and endless sea. This summary is that if you want to build a ship, let people see the vision and understand the greater good as opposed to giving orders. When you get people to see the greater good, they are on self-remote control, self-motivated. They become intrinsically motivated to get the job done. That is a sample of the book, PMP Exam Immersion, which is now available on Amazon. We'll skip a few pages here and we'll go to another section of the book, but it is incredibly detailed, covering everything you need to know. For example, in this image, you can see the Hersey-Blanchard model. It is in full color, and it enables you to vividly understand what exactly the PMI is trying to communicate in a lot of the sections of the PMBOK Guide, 6th and even 7th edition. For example, the Hersey-Blanchard model is talked about, but there's no imagery to help you understand what this model is all about. In the same token, there's also other models like the Stacy model in the Agile Practice Guide, which in our book is talked about in so much more detail with visual aids to help your understanding of that. We also have Maslow's pyramid talked about here and many other topics. But now let's go to the gold zone of understanding, which is a section in every chapter to fine-tune your focus to the exam material. Gold zone of exam expectations. People, task 2. Lead a team. Leading a team on an agile project is very different from leading a team on a predictive project. On an agile project, realize that this is a self-organizing team that is autonomous and is viewed as a group of adults who are capable with T-shaped skills and even paint drip type skills spread across various domains. Team members are viewed as dedicated cross-functional generalists and specialists dependent on each other, and collaborative-minded. Expect situational questions about servant leadership, as well as more recent ideas about leadership, such as situational leadership and the concept of self-organizing teams. Also, expect the unexpected and be ready to roll with it. Another section of this book hones in on the concept of agile in leadership. Agile thinking cap for leading a team. This was written by my buddy Roy, my co-author of this book. There are different aspects of leading a team, and let us separate it from managing a team. There is a difference between leadership and management. Leadership is more about long-range vision and mission and things of that nature. Management is about the direct management of individuals, telling people what to do, team administration, and positional power. Both are necessary at different times, even in agile space. Sometimes those are both very necessary, but we tend to focus more on leadership than management. In fact, we generally discourage having a manager on the team. We tend to focus more on leadership in Agile. It is not just leadership in the traditional sense of having senior people in our organization that are leaders, it is also natural leadership within the team. We want to encourage that as well. We should endeavor to bring up natural leadership. Let us talk about more organizational forms of leadership, where we are setting vision and mission. It is exceedingly important for us to set a clear vision and mission because team members need to understand the why behind the work. Remember, we are focusing on the psychological and behavioral aspects more than just producing a product. When done right, people feel that they are part of something more than just getting a requirement and robotically churning it out and producing the product. They become engaged, they own it, they will feel responsible. They will feel like they are part of something bigger than themselves. We want to remember the human aspects of our process. The more engaged people are, especially when you're doing knowledge and innovation work, the better the outcome. Therefore, we spend a lot of time putting together an environment where people can feel motivated. Imagine if that vision and mission are always available. Everyone knows what it is. Everyone can say what the vision is. We have somebody on the team dedicated to making sure everybody understands that vision and mission. That is our product owner. And that is just a little bit of the book, PMP Exam Immersion, now available, as you can see on the screen, on Amazon. For those of you who get the book as a result of this, I want you to tag me on social media, let me know, post a picture of you hand a copy of your book, and I will be sending you an appreciation snippet of one of my quizzes on predictive project management. You got to tag me, look for me on Instagram. If you want to tag me on other platforms, look for Praizion. But I will be very happy to get across to you a snippet of a quiz of predictive project management that you might find instrumental in your preparation. Thank you very much for joining me on this reading, and I look forward to hearing about your success on this exam. You take care, and don't forget, at the end of every chapter, there are questions, and those questions are to ensure that you've truly digested the content. See you very soon, and all the best.